Okay, so I think that's it. How will I know when he's here? Know when he's here.
What it do? What it do?
Oh, there he
Shout
is.
out to
Hey.
everybody tuning in to this old debate. You know what I'm saying? All 22 of y'all. What's going on, LMS? Mike,
Hey, what's up?
Call you, man.
No, you're good, brother. We got people from South Africa watching and my daughter, so don't be too hard on me, man. I'm father.
All right.
Hey, listen.
I'm gonna try to be the Southern gentleman my grandma raised me to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, but though, I'm gonna be real with you though. My grandma didn't raise me to be no bitch, so I gotta show you something, fam.
Hey, I don't have no respect for no bitch. But listen up, real quick. Am I allowed to take notes and look at notes? That's my only question.
Yeah, you should be taking the. Hey, when I'm speaking, you should be flowing down what I'm talking about. Write my arguments down. And two, I hope you got some facts or statistics to be able to read. I hope you got something to read at me.
Well, let's see what happens now on the opening statement. I'd rather you lead on everything just so I can at least get a feel for what's happening. Then you turn it over to me if that's cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool. All right, I'm gonna let you take it, brother. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah. Well, let me just put my timer in. The time for y'all that don't know, you know, me and LMS have agreed to speaking times that way we don't have to worry about anybody saying they've been speaking over, anybody saying that, you know, they ain't get to say much. We have set speech time. You know what I'm saying? If somebody call me, I'm gonna try to end the call. You know what I mean?
No, you're good.
So we got 8-minute constructive speeches. You feel me? And then after this 8 minutes, you get to cross-examine me.
Okay.
You hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I got you, brother. I'm just okay. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right, I'm gonna start my timer. You ready? You ready to flow? You ready to write my arguments down?
Yes. Let's go.
All right. My timer going. I want to start this off by stating clearly, this debate is about systemic racism. Regardless of how Mike feel about me or I feel about Mike, if that point does not prove that America is A, systemically racist, or B, not systemically racist, then whatever he's saying or I'm saying, it don't really fit. But I say it to say this. Mike has already let me know he's a former LAPD officer, and I want to be clear to everybody that's watching this as a police officer. I'm not calling all police racist. I'm not saying that all police are pigs. As a matter of fact, I've never called this man a pig, though he has made that accusation. I will say this as well. I don't think that he's a very good TikToker based off of the content that he gives and how he engages not only me, but other black people like Donald Spirit. And I don't think he was a great police officer because he mistaken George Lee with 3 degrees as a street thug, and I'm a schoolboy. So I question the experiences that he had in the streets of LA when he was policing them because he doesn't have the perspective or the lens to be able to identify a street thug and can make distinctions between them being a schoolboy. Now, remember, I said that regardless of how I feel or what he was doing when he was a police officer, that would not win me this debate. And I hope that Mike, when he's right now, when I'm saying that, he recognizes that in order for him to be consciously, AKA George Lee, in this debate, he has to prove with statistics, facts, not feelings, that America is not systemically racist. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce a piece of literature, you know what I'm saying, to this debate. This is coming from Washington Post. I know that some of y'all is going to want me to quantify the legitimacy of my source and being that, hey, the source you're using is liberal leaning, this, that, and the other. First, I'm just going to read the article and you'll get it. A couple years ago, Mike, Senator Tim Scott, who's a Republican in South Carolina, gave a powerful speech on the floor of the U.S. Senate. Scott talked about how he had been repeatedly pulled over by the police officers who seemed to be suspicious of a black man driving a nice car. Can you believe that? He added that black senior level staffer had experienced the same thing and even downgraded his car in hope to avoid the problem. Given that Scott otherwise was pretty conservative politics, there was a little objection and protest from the right. No one rose up to say that he was lying about getting pulled over. The thing is, Mike, and the thing to everybody that's watching this that might think that Mike got a little point, you know what I'm saying? The thing that most people of color have similar stories or know someone who does. Yet there is a deep skepticism on the right, and you know, on the left too, of any assertion that criminal justice system is racially biased. See, in August, a National Review editor syndicated that there was some disputing notion about our system as being racist, and I believe that is what Mike is, I think, is kind of interpreting the concept of systemic racism. to be about intentions. And shout out to my grandfather, may he rest in peace. He used to always tell me, "Little George, the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions." I believe Mike has some great intentions in trying to debate me, but he now already told me he gonna stop and frisk me. He now already told me he gonna be. He was playing. He was playing. I see you smiling. He was playing. He was joking. It was joking, you know. But I'm positive that he don't joke with everybody about beating the shit out of them and stopping and frisking them. You feel me? So I'm here today to talk about how his perspective and experience of being a cop allows for him to believe that he can say to me what he wants to say. He can talk crazy to me. He can cuss me out. He can call me a victim and a bitch. But as soon as my young black ass respond in the same energy that he gave me, somehow it's a disqualifying factor for me, but it's a qualifying factor for him to show how passionate he is. Well, you know what? I also have a little bit of passion. This is where we start getting into the debate, though. You know what I'm saying? See, the term systemic racism is often wrongly interpreted as an accusation that everyone in the system is racist. Mike, this is important for you, because I know when you get up in your next speech, in order for you to beat me in this debate, you're going to have to win in some way, shape, form, or fashion that systemic racism is not wrongly interpreted as an accusation that everyone in the system is racist. The concept of systemic racism is not saying that everybody in the system is racist. It is saying that the system leads to racist outcomes. But let's get more context. In fact, systemic racism almost is the opposite. It means that we have systems and institutions that produce racially disparate outcomes, regardless of the intention of the people who work with them. When you consider the criminal justice system was built, honed, and firmly established during the Jim Crow era, an era almost everyone, conservatives included, will concede right in racism. Now I only got a minute left, so I'm going to get down to these stats, these old facts. But I want to be clear, though, to all the conservatives watching this little old film, you don't get to have a beef with folks that talk about the past and then talk about how your traditional values are structured by the past. That shit don't work that way. I call it a conservative contradiction. But to the facts, though, to the facts. A 2013 Justice Department study found that Black and Latino drivers are more likely to be searched once they are pulled over. About 2% of white motorists were searched versus 6% of Black drivers and 7% of Latinos. Between 2012 and 2014, the LAPD received more than 1,300 citizen complaints of racial profiling. What I know as a Black man is that I am 3.5 more times of being incarcerated, and I'm 5.2 times, I think, more likely of being convicted of a crime, only because I am Black. Here, and I guess, I got 2 minutes left. I got 2 minutes left. I got the time all messed up, man. Y'all know, sometimes time. Hey, Mike, also, a 2017 study showed that interactions between officers and citizens taken from footage captured by police officer body cameras found that officers speak with consistently less respect towards Black versus white community members, even after controlling the race of the officer, the severity of the infraction, and the location of the stop, outcome of the stop. Basically, all I'm saying is that when it comes to the systemic nature of racism in America, it is not saying that the intentions of America is always already to be white supremacist and racist. What this is saying is that the way the outcomes, the way the system functions, produces disparities amongst people of color. When it comes to conviction rates, when it comes to arrest rates, when it comes to sentencing, we know that the FBI, we know that different categories or different offices of the United States federal government also back up these claims. Now, I know that Mike is going to get in and, you feel me, hit me with some rhetorical, where in the Constitution does it says Black people can't do this? Can you show me a system that says Black folks can't do this? And I have a response for that already. I'm waiting for him to give it to me, though. You know, this debate, if you're watching this debate, you will be deciding that America is systemically racist regardless of the intentions of the people that are in these systems. I want you to interpret this debate with more facts than feelings. And I can't wait for him to give me this energy. And remember, though, Mike, I'm not gonna forget that you called me a bitch. You said I was a victim. You told me you was gonna slap me around. You was gonna stop and frisk me. I ain't gonna forget that shit, bro. And I did not victoriously make it through my hood to be called a victim by somebody I see as, you know what I'm saying, as a little suckage. All respect though. Over for cross X.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you just, is it turned over to me?
Now, cross-exam time, you got 3 minutes to ask me questions. If it's something unclear about my arguments you want to know, if you want to ask me about the source I have.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you clear on what the topic is here? Because it sounds like you are changing the topic into police abuse and expecting me to defend the police department. The police department is a part of the system. It's not the system.
Agreed. Agreed.
So let
me answer your question. You asked me a question.
Okay.
In talking about systemic racism, you've already hit the dog on the head. I know that you're a police, so you're gonna feel some type of way of me using policing as an example to illustrate how systemic racism operates. But don't get it twisted though. The topic is the systemic racism operate. Right. That's what you said, right? And I'm arguing that it does. Okay. And I think that it shows that you don't really know what you're talking about that much. You claim you do. If you think that I'm making this debate to be about policing, and not systems.
It's clear. It's a question for clarification. So I thought that's what you said I needed to do. So next question I have is, okay, you are aware that I've been retired for like 20 years.
That's fine.
I'm just asking you if you're aware of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am. Okay. So you are aware that I'm no longer a police officer. Okay. Do you know me? Have you seen any of my videos before this event started in order to make an accurate judgment of my personality?
Yeah,
okay, so you've seen my other platforms?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think that you clout chasing me because when I only had 50,000 followers, I tried to come at you specifically about when you talked about more than black people having more to struggle, and you ain't say nothing to me. As a matter of fact, you sent your black man Topher Town Music to deal with me. Now I got 175,000 followers, and here you is.
Wait a minute, I sent Topher Town? I didn't know Topher Town.
I don't know if you knew him or not. I know that I responded to a video you duetting him.
Okay, are you aware that I get no monetization for anything? So if for me to trace clout, there would be no benefit. Are you aware that I have not made a dime off of my 4 YouTube channels?
Hey, you about to lose another debate because last night you tried some slick shit and said I'm trying to make money. I went to airborne.com and seen you selling them bullshit ass t-shirts. You trying to make some money, and you recognize by getting more streams and more views on YouTube or Instagram, it help your sales, bro. Don't try to. I'm a hustler, fan. I was born by a hustler. Shout out to George Lee C.
Hold on. Airborne.com. What is that?
No. Airborne 80 is your username. RaiseOn.com is where you selling them bullshit ass t-shirts.
Oh, that's not one of your t-shirts. No. Hold on a second. But that's misinformation, man. I don't have. No. If I sell hot dogs on the side of the house, that doesn't have anything to do with my public. That's not a social media network.
You bullshit me, Mike.
No. How would clout help me sell t-shirts on rage.com? Explain that to the audience, because that's a bullface.
I'm gonna take your last 13 seconds to
you're lying.
This argument. I'm gonna explain this.
No, it's a lie. It's misinformation.
You get Airborne 80. The more views and the more engagement that you get to your social media page.
I go by LMS Tactical, not Airborne 80. You're lying.
That's fine. That is fine.
Who knew what Airborne 80 was in this audience? Raise your hand. Nobody knew
somebody on the social media on a live stream to raise their hand.
Yeah, well, I'm saying nobody. You guys leave comments. Nobody knows what Airborne 80 is except you. You searched it out. That's not clout.
Now it's your turn to prove that America is not systemic racism. Don't get discouraged. Don't fall for the pump fakes.
No. I'm just saying.
Is it America systemically racist? You selling t-shirts, bro. We can let that go. You selling t-shirts.
Facts. Your words. Facts, not feeling. Yeah.
It's your turn now.
Clout does not help a guy on rage.com, but go check it out. I got some cool t-shirts there. Rage.com, Airborne 80. Okay. So let's see here. My opening. Where's that at? All right. How many minutes do I got?
You got 8 minutes.
Okay. So first of all, yeah, I am a retired police officer, and I want to address a little bit about, I didn't realize we're going to get personal like that on a professional debate, but I guess that's legit. So, for those that don't know how this all went down, we ran into each other on TikTok. I use TikTok as basically a fun thing. I've got an African family. One of them's watching now. I'm sponsoring to become citizens. They're living here. The little daughter showed me TikTok. I have a sense of humor. I'm a professional comedian. I've traveled around the country doing comedy. One of my shticks, we all have shticks, and I've certainly seen more than my share of African Americans. And I've also got video and seen your video of you impersonating a white redneck. So you're a little bit of a hypocrite there, brother. I can talk ghetto because I grew up in Inglewood, California. I was a piece of salt in the pepper shaker. I know all about racism from the other side of the spectrum. Talk about reparations. Give me my bikes back because I got about 15 of them that were taken out from under me. But that being said, we're talking about the systemic racism. I hope, and I made a video before this, I hope that you prove me wrong, or that I hope that you don't prove me wrong. In other words, I am arguing that the United States of America, as it is today, is not guilty of systemic racism. Has it had a history, a long, dirty history of racism? Absolutely. But as we sit here today, you're right. I am going to ask you that question that you're ready for. I want to know. I want you to be thinking now to tell me exactly what I can do as a white man that you can't do or achieve as a black man. And the fact that the system does not prevent you from doing that in and of itself absolutely stomps your argument that this country is systematically racist as we're having this discussion right now. Now, we can look in the mirror and you can try to hold me guilty of the sins of my fathers who weren't even on the continent during all of that shit till after the whatever. But the point is, if you want to get real, you're talking about feelings over facts, right? So what are you talking about? Is to say that America is systematically racist, is it the whole system, or is it the legal system? Is it the economic? Is it the social system? Is it designed to favor one race over another? That's what racism is. Systemic racism is a system that's designed to favor white over black in the case of this argument. So yeah, there's situations that call people like you, and I mean that exactly the way it sounded, to feel, and you're the guy that says facts over feelings, to feel that a racist system keeps them down. You talked about stats where there were more blacks getting stopped and convicted and arrested by the police. Though, you know, statistics are they vary depending on which source you go to. Now, if you're working in a black neighborhood, like I did for most of my career, the people that I brought back to life with these white lips that couldn't breathe were black. That's right. And the people that I put handcuffs on were black. And the people I had to knock the living shit out of because they fucking attacked me or my partner or shot at me or stabbed me, they were black. If I was in Chinatown, or if any white cop's in Chinatown, guess what he's going to hear? You'll stop on me because I'm Chinese. Yeah, I imitated a Chinese person. That's my personality. You're going to take it and act like you don't ever fuck around, and I must hate Chinese people. I'm married to an Asian. You got my Asian daughter listening right now. You generalize when it's about everybody else, but you don't hold yourself accountable to your own rules. So there are situations that may make you feel that the system keeps you down, but feelings, not facts, right? That's what you said, my brother. Feelings, not facts. Okay? You say facts over feelings, so let's stick to it. America has a history ripe with racism, including all kinds of shit. Guess what the good news is? The good news is, right now, there is no systemic racism in America. And I'm going to tell you what the bad news is. The bad news is, racism does exist. It always will exist from every single color on the spectrum in every society. There's always been and always will people and individuals and groups that segregate themselves. That is far different than a system that has written into its laws and it's the entire system getting houses. And I know you're going to bring that shit up. I can talk all day long about your conviction rate and the blacks versus whites. I can talk all day long about the numbers of per capita as opposed to the skewed numbers that I know you're going to throw out. You are somebody that sees what you need to see to further your cause. And as far as selling shit, hey, look, man, we're in America. It's capitalism. I don't down you for making money. I'm just saying, when I point that out, my brother, that you and I are on the same path in terms of trying to help our society. And for that, I love you. I mean that. I happen to think you thought I meant you were ghetto. I was imitating it because you do talk different when you talk than you are right now, just like I do. Sometimes I'm like, motherfucker, pussy, bitch. Yeah, that's me sometimes, just like you. I seen it. But right now, there's a time to be serious. I don't walk around like some fucking maniac all day, and I don't think you walk around. We change. You put a suit on me, and I talk different. You show all my tattoos, I talk different. That's humanity, dude. Don't hold me up to some fucking standard that you can't achieve. And that goes for everybody, all right? We're all human beings. The money thing, as it relates to you and I, is we are looking for the same thing, trying to build bridges and cure people. I did not know you were a professional debater. I don't even know what the fuck a debate is till you taught me, and thank you for that. But what I'm saying is, I meant debate like an argument. But my point is that you know, right now, you are doing things for your own way. It's your livelihood. I salute you. I really do. I'm doing it. It's not that I think you're bad for making money, but I don't want to. That's not my motive. You know, I have spent over $30,000 this year, and you can ask the African lady on the chat that's there, getting 3 families out of a fucking genocide. One of them's living here. You think it's easy bringing a whole fucking family into your house? No offense, Danielle. I love you. But the point is, it is stressful. It's expensive, and it costs money. I spend money, brother. I don't make money, and I'm trying to cure the world one fucking candle at a time, man. And you know what? Talking to you, you wait until I made a video. I'm going to do something after this. You can stay on or sign off. But the fact of the matter is, you and I got a lot more in common than you think. As far as my police career, dude, you made a generalization which is no different than a racist saying all blacks are criminals. By you fucking saying, hey, I'm not saying all cops are racist, but because of a TikTok, I can tell that Mike must have been abusing. In fact, you said I was terrorizing. You used the word, you called me a fucking terrorist. So if you want to get into the name calling, so you're shaking your head. So I am a terrorist, but you know nothing. Why? You know what? My record is public, man. The things I've done for the black community, dude. When I say this, I'm not fucking kidding. I've done more for blacks, literally, than most black people I've ever met. And I'm talking about tangible. I've taken in a homeless black family that was living in a fucking car. I'll show those videos. I don't want to fucking embarrass these people. But you know what? We saw a family living in a car. I fucking helped get that kid in school and get him to housing. And you know what? That's another story. But here's the deal. I don't give a fuck about a person's color. What I care about is your heart. The difference between me and makes you misread me as a racist, and a lot of people misread me that way, is because I'm not ashamed to be white. And then so many people, I saw your listeners saying, I'm so sorry about my skin. I'm so sorry. I videotaped it. I'm so sorry. I hate my skin consciously. I wish I wasn't black consciously. That should break your fucking heart, just like when the black children picked the white doll over the black baby. That broke my fucking heart, dude. That broke my motherfucking heart, because that's a stomp on all of us. And when I see young white people who you're trying to help, and I get it, but you got to cut them off, man, when they hate their fucking skin. I don't want you hating your skin. And if something, I'm the guy that's going to speak up, and I'm going to fucking have this look on my face. And if you walk into the room, you're going to be like, that's a redneck racist fucker. Am I done?
Time, my brother. It's time. Now it's time for the lights, camera, action, man. Because, you know, hey, when I debated, man, I'm finna show you why I was one of the worst. I was a bad motherfucker in cross-sex, man. 3 minutes, though. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Time starting right now. Hey, Mike, in this last speech you just gave, what sources did you provide to back up any of the facts you gave?
Well, I got them here. I thought that was coming up.
Okay, it's coming up. So you say how long were you a police officer?
Well, I was a police officer for 13 years with the LAPD, and I was a federal agent with an OIG in Washington, D.C. for 12 years.
Yeah, okay. With that being said, you said something to me when I was setting up this debate where you said you didn't know what a cross-examination is. Were you serious?
No, in court I did. I said to you that I don't know what it is with respect to a debate. I've never debated or seen an actual, rules debate.
Okay, that's what's real. That's what's real.
I know what cross-examination is in the legal sense.
Hey, I was just, hey, but you see what I'm getting at, though. A police officer tell me you don't know what cross-examination is. Like, what you mean?
No, it's public record, brother. I wouldn't lie about my.
Hey, okay. Second question, though. Third question. I don't even know what number I'm on question I am now, though. But I presented some statistics that were indicative of right now in America, not like 1800s. Mm-hmm. What is your response to saying this argument is invalid?
So it's what I kind of glossed over a little bit in my little speech there. Statistics they're very dependent on who the polling person is. If I go get statistics about how many people love the police, and I go to an area where there's a lot of crime, I'm going to get statistics that say 99% of this group of people fucking hate cops.
Mike, so hold on. Yes, only got a minute and a half left. So let's go with the mindset of statistics can be manipulated, and you understand what it means to present facts in a court. You understand that, right?
Absolutely.
So if the plaintiff presents some stats and the defendant feel like them stats is bullshit, don't you present alternative facts?
Yes.
So I'm asking you right now, what are the alternative statistics that you presented in this debate?
Well, no, you got to be more specific, though, because, we went all over the map. Like, okay.
Okay, let's start. Let's start with the police and the shit that made you mad. I said that.
Come on, man,
people,
brother. You see, you just read.
It bothered you, fam.
I'm passionate.
It go. I said what I said, and you responded how you responded.
Okay.
What statistics did you present to say that systemic racism does not happen in terms of policing?
Okay, I'm trying to understand it, and you can go over. I'm not going to hold you your time. That systemic racism does not pertain to the police. Is that what you're asking me?
Now I'm asking you, what did you? Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. That's one of your arguments you're making. What did you present to make that argument legitimate, other than your feelings?
Well, they're not feelings. They're life experience, which are just as valid as facts.
Hey, in debate, it's something called being non-falsifiable. The shit you present to me, it cannot be falsified. It's your experience. I can't tell you whether that's your experience or not. But if you got some facts, though, we can talk about those facts. Now, I told you before we set this debate up, I said facts over feelings. My time going off. I'm gonna take 10 seconds, and I'll take this 10 seconds off my speech time.
No. You can take it, man.
I'm just still trying to understand what's the best argument you think you presented in that last speech that says that I'm wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, we're talking the broad, the macro, not the micro. No, you shaking your head. You're not hearing me, dude.
Pick one.
I'm trying to
pick one. Pick the macro or the macro and pick one.
I'm trying to. That's my lead in. Jesus. Okay, so you got the system. I'm going to stick with the macro. You got a president of the United States right now, whether you love him or hate him, who has pardoned. He's not only done this Criminal Justice Reform Act, which, by the way, the African American for 8 years didn't do jack shit, but this guy, this
debate over with now. I'm gonna start my time right now.
Because I was just getting the numbers. Just getting the numbers. 2 Jews, 2 blacks, and 1 Indian. That's who we pardoned.
This debate over with. It's over with now. You already gave me. I'm finna use again too. I ain't gonna use my whole 6 minutes. I don't need it for it's light work.
What part are we on? What part are we?
My 6 minutes started, fam.
What part are we on?
My 6 minutes started. The reason why you're gonna be signing that George Lee, aka Consciously, won this debate. This man just acknowledged how the Donald Trump was passing some reform bills, right? Now, why in the hell would he pass reform bills if the damn system is not racist? Why? Why would he do that? Why would Donald Trump pass the First Step Act if the system does not require people to have some type of leverage to make a first step? Huh? You ain't gotta answer that either. So when it comes
are you asking me? I didn't know.
It's rhetorical. I'm sorry.
No, because we're talking about today. Huh? We're talking about the here and now, right now, today.
Yes, in the hearing now. Do I need to Google? I got so much time on my hands. This man really didn't challenge. Hey, listen, y'all. I would never challenge this police officer to debate about police tactics. Even though I'm a black man that has experience of being police, I don't have no insight this police officer has of being policing. Listen, I ain't never been to the military. I'm smart enough and wise enough. I wouldn't challenge this man to talk about military tactics.
I wouldn't challenge you to debate.
A whole ass debater with expertise about it don't matter though.
I wouldn't challenge. Hey, I wouldn't challenge you to a debate if I knew you were a fucking professional debater. I stepped on my dick on that.
Well, because you thought I was a street thug. That's why.
No.
Hey,
that's not true.
Hey, Mike, stop cutting me off now. Take your ass with dignity. I told you I was gonna do with you. I told you I was gonna mob. Hey, listen, I covered up. It's like white people have made up about
acting like a thug. You're thugging it up.
New York residents, right? 45%. Now let's talk about the arrest records in New York. See, what I know is that black people are more suspected, therefore we're more detected, therefore we're more punished, right? So I can read you about 4 or 5 FBI studies that shows that white people and black people, they use drugs up to the same way, right? But there are some people that are, too, because you police the hood. So you shake your head because you know this. That's really why I'm behooved that you would even challenge me to debate me about systemic racism, especially in the same light of acknowledging that Donald
I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn, man. I'm here to learn, brother.
Yes. So what you mean? So I want you to acknowledge this like a man, fam. If you are here to learn, recognize you are losing this debate.
Okay, that doesn't sound important to me. Okay, I lost. I surrendered.
Okay, so
but keep teaching.
So now you lost the debate. I'm finna go back up. I'm finna go back up and read some arguments that you did not respond to, which is one of the other reasons why I won this debate, outside of you giving me the reason why I won.
See, but winning is more important to you than me. I'm here to fucking learn.
Education is elevation. Listen, it's 101 people right now watching me kick your ass in the lecture right now. They are educationally, listen, they are
but what does that get you?
Learning.
That's ego. That's ego.
Fine. My ego on your ass too. I'm arrogant. I'm egotistical. It don't matter. You lose in this debate, and you lose in a very educational way. I'm an edutainer, my brother. Right now, you're getting an educational, entertaining ass whooping. Now, you try to deny the nature of systemic racism. I went to Washington Post, and I read somebody from your political, a black.
There's a reliable source.
Huh?
That's a reliable source.
Fam, do I need to say? I know you're not good at debating. I can go to mediacheck.com.
No, just say it. Just say it. I'll check it out later, but just say it.
Just say it. So we now already. So now that you've already recognized you lost this debate, what exactly is hard for you to understand about the reality of systemic racism? Like, what's hard for you to understand about that? When I talk about the economy, you do realize the higher you go up on the economic scale, the whiter and lighter it gets. Literally, the lower you go on the economic scale, the darker and blacker it gets. Now, that would allow for some people to be like, you know what?
That's true. That's true.
People are poor because they're lazy. To me,
no, I don't say that. I never have said that. And here's the deal. I can answer your question. I can answer your question. My theory on that is that there are bigger social issues that maybe are not being acknowledged. It's not one thing that fucks a society over, brother.
Agreed.
It's a combination of fatherless homes. I was raised by a drug addicted prostitute, no dad. I know what that's like, man. That's why I got a GED. I
don't know why you're characterizing like like in a conversation about blackness and black people. Why you telling me your hardships, fam?
Because black people that's where I'm different. I don't back down. A lot of black people think that whites just can't compare. Look, we're all human, and just because I was a white poor kid doesn't mean that I can't relate to you. You know, like I always say, I don't have to go into a volcano to know that it's hot. I'm intelligent enough.
I only got a minute and 11 seconds left. Listen, I only got a minute left.
But you already won. Go ahead.
And listen, I want to make sure that everybody watching this know. As a black man, I know that there's power that I have and it's power that I don't have. I'm not trying to wage war with the entire goddamn LAPD. I know I'm not going to win that. You feel me? So I don't want nobody to feel slighted because I'm getting on his ass the way I'm getting on his ass, that he got to have some backup or he got to have some, you know what I'm saying, some help. You feel me?
I don't need any backup.
He don't need backup. I don't need backup either.
I don't want backup.
He got to keep the same energy that he had. When he apologized to me about being on a power trip in terms of he thought that I was trying to hijack the Instagram. But so he has the ability to reflect. He has the ability to apologize, right?
Wait till you see what's coming. Wait till you see what's coming.
Because you know, he was able to reflect on a power trip or talking about stealing Instagram. He ain't apologized for threatening to beat my ass and talking.
No. I never said I beat your ass.
Page. No. Hold on, Mike. The black
that's man humor.
You get your chance, white man.
Wait, but you're lying.
You get your chance, bro. He also called me a bitch.
Yes.
He also said I wake up every morning looking to be a victim.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
I agree with that.
Last minute. This ain't even about Mike right here.
That's true. You act like a bitch and you focus on that shit.
We do not victoriously navigate the world to be called a victim by some suckers.
Well, sucker is your opinion. That's your opinion.
It's your turn now, Mike. The floor is yours. You got 6-minute rebuttal.
Okay. So, and feel free to interrupt, man. I think I interrupted you. So, Jesus Christ, I wasn't even fucking ready for my close statement. All right. So, okay. The system that we're talking about is it's not a thing. It's not a monster that is fucking over any group of people. A system is a society. It's a society of human beings, and it's constantly evolving. Okay, and for better or worse, it's evolving and it changes. Societies rise and do great, and then they collapse. So I believe it's counterproductive to stare back into history completely. I'm not saying forget it. It's counterproductive to look back without acknowledging the progress of the here and now, right now, this second. That's why I wanted to keep it into this. This is why I brought up the Trump pardons. So I don't think there's a value or sense in expecting an entire segment of population to pay for the sins of their fathers, so to speak, and be held accountable for something they didn't do. You judge people and you judge groups of people by what they fucking present you, not by what somebody in history did. My great-grandmother was 94, you've heard this, was lying in a hospice in Inglewood, California. A 6'4" black guy raped the shit out of her and almost killed her. She never called the police. Hey, did I hold the next black guy accountable that I met? Fuck no. You know, my family was exterminated by Hitler. On my father's side, I'm Jewish by race. And when I went to Germany in the army, my grandfather says, "Don't you ever forget what they did to you, man. Don't you ever forget." And you know what? I was banging German chicks within a week of getting there because I'm not going to hold a generation accountable for something their fucking people did. You know what I'm saying? So you got the people that Trump that he pardoned. I wanted to bring that up because it shows you're right. I have to give you credit on that. That's true. The fact that he's doing it does show that there is things that are constantly being adjusted. It's just like the Civil Right or the Civil Rights Act. And
right.
when we're talking about affirmative action, which came into play, I think in like the 60s, man, where they wanted to level the playing field. Those are all things that they might have been enacted a long time ago, but they are probably always going to need adjusting. Just like sometimes you got a traffic light at an intersection and it's not needed anymore, so they take it down. Or you got an intersection where there's a lot of people getting killed. If we choose to focus, if we want to look at life as being victims, and you got a little personal. It's sad to me. I hope you don't really believe some of the shit you say. I never fucking threatened you. I said I'm gonna search you and frisk you before I fucking. That's Mike's humor. Now you don't have to like my humor. No. But if you truly believe, in fact,
you said, hey, this is how I know you speak from a position of privilege. You believe when you speak in hyperbole, that's the end all be all because
no. But
you asked me a question. You said, "What is there anything you can do as a black person that I can't do as?" You said something like that, right?
Yeah.
Listen, a black man said, "I'm gonna go blow the bathroom up." He was talking about taking a shit, right? Because his words was interpreted the way he did not intend, he's being held for saying terrorist threats. You don't recognize that everybody doesn't have the ability to say what they mean what they say. As you said, fam. You asked another question. You said, "What can you do in your house that I can't do?" Rest in peace to Tiana Jefferson, the black woman that was murdered in her home in Fort Worth, Texas. She literally got killed because there was a, Second Amendment. You Second Amendment. You believe everybody had their guns, huh? This black woman had her gun in her home, and she literally was murdered because the police officers believed that her life was in threat. So when you ask me a question, what can you do, George, as a black person that I cannot do? I can't bear arms. Shit, it's the reason why. Hey, Mike. One question. I'm gonna finish your time. Why do you think the media always puts so much focus on black people being unarmed when police kill them? Why do you think that's always emphasized being unarmed and we have the right to bear arms? Why?
I don't have an answer for that.
The answer is anti-blackness. Come on now. Don't like when you was in LAPD, right? When you listen, I'm not trying to say you racist. I'm saying as a police officer, when you patrol particular communities, if you think there's a potential for gunfire or possession of arms to be there, it follows by hypercriminalization. Or you feel like you're a threat. It's a threat, right?
Yeah. Now
I
you
don't hear nobody from the NRA protecting no black folks when we get murdered for having a gun. R.I.P. Philando Castile. He was a literal, a licensed carrying person. This happened to be black. He was an educator too. He was there for the community. The NRA, because you believe in guns, don't you? I said you tactical. You got your guns everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is you at when black folks that also believe in guns? Where you at, fam? I want to be able to have a gun too. I want to be able to have my guns on YouTube and not worry about the police coming to kicking in my door and killing me with my kids.
No. But I want to answer your question. That's something you asked two really good questions.
Yeah, I want you to. You got all the time to answer it too.
Well, I hope I want to remind me because I want to get back to the guy that said he was going to blow up the bathroom. But first, the last one. See you. And I don't expect you to go back and fucking bore yourself with my videos, but here's the thing. You can check this out afterwards. I have done extensive talk on Second Amendment and specifically blacks and Jews. Jews are another group of people that for some reason, I never understood why a Jewish person would be anti-Second Amendment when they were fucking wiped out because Hitler took their weapons away. And black people are I just said this as recently as just not 2 days ago. If there's one group of people on earth that should never want to give up a right or be anti-gun. It's black people. You know, you're talking about people who were enslaved by another race.
Systemic racism. That's why we should never give it up.
No, but I'm looking back and I'm saying to myself, so you're connected genetically to people that were fucking enslaved. They didn't have the right to take a shit without permission. Yeah. So I can't understand why all blacks should be fucking NRA members, and there are an awful lot of them. But my point is, I see the white.
I told you why we're not NRA members, though. I told you why we're not NRA members. When our blood being spilled on the street behind having a gun, ain't nowhere to be found.
But what I was gonna say was But what I was gonna say to that was, I could show you because I collect them. I'm a federal firearms instructor, law enforcement. Okay. And I'm an NRA law enforcement firearms instructor. So what I want
research.
No. But what I wanted to tell you about that was, you saw me on what's the name of that fucking thing? Okay,
yeah, man, I ain't gonna just go. I ain't gonna come in here.
LinkedIn or whatever. No, but what I was gonna say is, I could show you because I collect videos all the time. People send them to me because I evaluate all of the use of deadly forces, so I can use that in training. And I've got endless fucking white guys getting blown away, women getting blown away, white women, black people. You know, as a cop, I'm going to tell you, I know it's hard to believe, and I'm not saying there's no racist cops. Of course, there's cops that are child molesters and bank robbers and rapists. We come from society. And the more
I gave you 45 seconds of your time because I interrupted you and asked you questions. You got any closing statements? I'm ready to make my last 2-minute closing statement.
Okay, but no, you said you're going to remind me of the bombing thing. Look, there's a white guy that during the 70s, you're too young. He was in the airport and he said, "Hi, Jack." And he got arrested because of the word hijack, which was a big thing back then. So, you know, you're
horrible example to use.
Well, no, but you're bringing up anecdotal things, and those are not factual. An anecdote does not fucking relay a systemic failure. Anecdotes are fucking sad. Hey, now, what happens next?
Yeah, so now we're about to get these last little closing statements. You feel me? I'm about to get mine. It's hella smooth. The first thing I want to acknowledge. There are assholes in all groups, all races, absolutely, all politics, all genders. They have assholes. When it comes to the question of systemic racism, though, it's about how some assholes have a system to back them up in being assholes. This conversation is a question about systemic racism and how some people have an empowering system to back them up in being an asshole. The second thing I want to say very importantly, and this is for all my white people watching this video.
Oh, you're white people. How racist. You own them?
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Worst racism, whatever. To all my white people, to all his white people, to all the white people watching this video, listen.
I prefer Asian.
I am not trying to blame you for the evils of your ancestors. I'm going to say it again. I am not trying to blame you for the evils of your ancestors. I want you to help dismantle the system that you benefit from, that you sustain, that they built for your ass. That's a big difference. Again, I'm gonna say a different way. If you hear a criticism of white supremacy or you hear criticism about racism and you automatically jump to, this is demonizing white people. Let me tell you something. This speaks more volumes in your relationship in humanity to how you relate to white folks and not mine. You feel me? I'm gonna say it again. If you hear dialogue about racism and you jump to saying this is demonizing white people, this speaks volumes of how you relate white people to racism and not the other way around. The last thing I'll say, because I find this closing statement is getting a little, you know what I'm saying, getting a little this, that, and the other. If you are serious about trying to dismantle the systems of oppression, not only racism, but ableism and sexism and all the isms, you need to recognize how you as an individual are implicated in these systems of oppression. I'll give you an example. I'm a cisgender heterosexual black man. What this means is that I always already get privileged and get pushed forward for being heteronormative and or being hyper masculine performing. What this means is I can't always sit here and be like, the white man did this, the white man did that. Because best believe there is somebody that sees me as an oppressor. Now, I believe, because I have a big heart and I really love people, right? I want to understand how me as an individual, George Lee, is implicated in all those other forms of racism or all these other forms of oppression. What this means, white people specifically, you have to be some type of way okay with being the bad guy. Not mean you embrace being the bad guy, mean that you got to have that same energy that you had for not wanting to be called a racist. You got to have that same energy for actually being racist. Because the last thing I'll say, man, if the world, if white people cared as much about being called a racist as they did actually about being racist, the world would be a better place to live in, man. Make America great again with a question mark. Follow me, George Lee, aka Consciously. Don't forget to Lee. You can get me at georgeleespeaks.com. Y'all know what time it is. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on everything. I'm trying to put some muscle in my hustle. Hey, Malcolm X said, instead of trying to beg for a job, create one.
Am I up?
Yep.
Okay, man. Good God, I can't. My mind. Wait till you're my age, man. It's hard to get your shit together. Okay, so you talk. I don't know, maybe take these notes, but when we talk about change, I'm going to refer back to these last years that we've had. We're living in a day now where we have a Congress that is made up of quite a few blacks. I don't know. I don't know what the exact numbers. We've got representatives that are black. We've got police chiefs that are black. We had a president that was black. My point is, were you as active? This is a question. Were you as active with them directly, since they were the system? The system that you are saying is so inherently racist was controlled. It doesn't get any higher on this planet than the fucking guy in the White House. Now, whether I like Obama or not, he was the man. Did you write him personal letters? Did you call him? Did you talk to him? He had the House and the Senate, the Congress. Why were you not holding them to the same standard?
This is why I be provocative
right
here.
TikTok?
This is why I be provocative right here, Mike. You do recognize there were black slave masters and black overseers as well?
Yes.
Do you think that the black slaves was writing letters to the black slave master?
No.
That answers your question. No, I did not write Obama no damn letters. No, I ain't sent none of them. Listen. A system, the reason why we talk about systems is because it doesn't matter who the conductor is of the train. If the tracks are going north, whether you want to go south, the train gonna go north. That's where the tracks take them to, because it was structured that way. You feel me? I want you to understand more about systems and structures and less about individuals. I can tell when you think about racism, you think more about it on the individualistic level, and you don't think about it in the structural, institutional level. You know what I'm saying? So again, remember, assholes come everywhere, Mike. But everybody doesn't have a system to back them up being an asshole.
It might just be, this may sound like defensive or whatever, but I think realistically, and it might be one of those things like, hey, you got it coming, because you're white. I don't know what people think, but I think that black people that feel a sense of racism can no more relate to what it's like to be a white guy who happens to look like an asshole, because I do look like an asshole. Look like that I walk, that what it feels like to be any white person who has to carry the burden of something they're not responsible for. Now, I'm going to finish. I want to go back to the Congress. The slave masters, you're right. I get what you're saying. But here's the other thing. The guy in the big house ain't going to complain to the fucking owner. I get it. But what about, are you trying to say that every fucking person, and I did that video the other day about my impersonation of you seeing a doctor walk by. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if you saw that. Where, okay, in a nutshell, it basically was me going, hey, look, a black doctor walks by, and I'm like, hey, I see it. What a accomplished American. What a good guy. He went to school. He studied. And I said, now here's George looking at the same doctor. What a sellout. What a race traitor. What a blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm being facetious, but I was making the point that I'm going to make right now. You cannot, if every time a black person rises to a level of fucking extreme power, okay, let's say Obama's a sellout. But are you telling me that Maxine Waters is a sellout? Are you telling me that all these people with all of this power that happen to be black, that once they finally get to where you say they can't go, they're sellouts? Look at all those white people. You look like you fell into a salt shaker.
Exactly. Listen. Straw man argumentation is making arguments your opponent did not make so you can make responses to arguments that I didn't make. I never call no black person a sellout, especially talking to you, right?
No,
what this means is, listen, I'm a black man. I'm a state employee, my guy. That means I get paid by state dollars, state taxes. You feel me? So you can't run this reverse psychology as you saying, listen, I'm in a room full of white people. Ain't no black people in this room right now at all. You feel me?
No, reverse psychology. Where'd you get that?
It's not reverse psychology. This is a direct response to your argument. You saying you asked me about being a sellout. Not only
you brought it up.
I ain't never said that. I'm going to tell you what what you're jiving up to be sellout, it can easily be George. I'm in a room debating a white man full of white people about racism. I'm in a black institution.
That's selective hearing, man. You got selective. You got selective hearing.
What did I not hear?
You said back during the slavery days, you were responding to me talking about, did you contact your black representatives in charge? And you said, were there slaves that were, whatever? What did you say? There were slaves that were sellouts, or whatever the word you used was.
I've never conjured the concept of sellout.
Okay. That's okay.
I ain't never said nothing like that. As a matter of fact, let you know something about me. I never used that language talking to a white person.
My point was, you brought up the slaves and said, were there any that were like working? You used a different phrase. I can't remember it.
The question I asked you, I said there were black slave masters and there were black overseers. Do you think any black slaves
there you go.
sending letters to them? And you said no. And I said, answer your question.
Okay.
And answer your question too and saying, I'm not saying every black person in the office is a sellout. That's literally that's a direct response to what you said.
My bad. I'll rephrase it. Is every black person that's achieved those levels, are they the overseers? Are they the black overseers?
Yeah, they can. Yes, they can be. They don't have to.
No, they can be. They can be.
Space to be an overseer.
No, they can be, but are they, George? Are you saying that the majority, or is it half, or is it just a few? These are black people that are in charge of you and me.
Hey, listen, this is straw man argumentation again, Mike. I've already gave you the direct.
No, it's an uncomfortable argument.
Quantified in terms of percentage.
It's an uncomfortable argument.
Hey, listen, I'm a debater you ain't seen right now. So you telling me something I disagree with, it don't bother me. I'm not
trying to bother you, George. See, you're trying to win a fight. I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to exchange ideas.
Debate, Mike.
That's why I'm not a debater.
And you know why you can't be a debater either? Because you think once you say something and you respond for it, you apologize for it, the consequences go away. Remember,
no. Oh, no.
Man, you jokingly call a bitch. You jokingly called a victim.
You called me. You called me a terrorist, racist cop, man.
Fam, no. I said you terrorize black folks in your LAPD.
If I terrorize black people, that's a black hating terrorist, man. Come on, dude.
Listen.
That's semantic.
Hey, as you see, I'm great with words. I'm great with words. You don't have to put any in my mouth.
You got hurt because I called you a bitch. You got to grow up, brother. I did call you a bitch because you acted like a bitch. I'm not ashamed of that.
I got to grow up, but he's sitting
I still have
my nephew who in like the 7th grade. You know what he's doing when people disagree with
you don't want to hear it. But I still got mad respect for you. But I think, you know what? If you think I'm trying to fucking back down, because look, I stand behind things I say, but when I'm wrong, a real man, this is what you gotta learn. A real man, you need to learn, can reevaluate and apologize, and that's not weakness, George.
I agree with you. You still ain't apologized for saying you don't slap me around and call me a bitch and a victim, though.
No, but you're telling me.
You thought it was cool to apologize about stealing. Hey, listen, my time is valuable.
If it hurts you, I apologize. Look, guys call each other bitches. If that really hurts you, then I do apologize. I wasn't trying to hurt you, man. I was fucking with you. You and me were fucking TikTok fucking. That's all. If you took it serious, I do apologize. I don't think you did. I don't think you think I think you're a bitch.
How about this? Hey,
you're not a bitch.
It's something that did alarm me, though. If
What's
a
that?
former cop comes to me that disagree with me, talking about whooping me and stopping and frisking me,
I didn't say whipping you.
Huh?
Did I say I was? No, I said I was gonna search you down for weapons. It was a bad joke.
Either way, do you not recognize how in a conversation about systemic racism that me as a black man has been policed throughout my entire life will feel a little bit alarmed that a police officer is telling me they're gonna slap me around and stop and frisk me?
Now that you say it, now that you say it, I can see it.
And listen, when I say you speaking from a position of privilege, I'm saying that sometimes you say things and you're not fully aware of how they can be interpreted regardless of what you mean.
No, that is true.
What I'm saying is, as a black
mouth,
man, I have to always be conscious of how it can be interpreted regardless of what I meant or not.
I submit.
That's indicative of systemic racism, bro.
Now, you got to try this sometime, George, because I seriously get it. And you know what? My mouth fucking gets me in trouble. It does. And it got me in trouble. Listen, I want to leave you with this.